Other ingredients. Cellulose gel. Okay, it needs to be wrapped in something. Fine. Maltodextrin. That's another word for sugar. Then it says sugar. Then cross carmelose sodium. I don't even know what that is. Acacia gum, stearic acid, cornstarch, magnesium stearate. Why? That backwards. Hello and welcome to the Wellbeing. Today we're talking about supplements. My name is Madison.
My name is Rachel.
And supplements are wild, you guys. I went to Target the other day because I was picking up some vitamins, and I usually order them from Fullscript, but I was like, I'll just go to Target and like get some. It'll be easier than ordering it online. Then I have to like wait, and shipping where I live is nearly impossible. So I was like, I'm just gonna go to Target. So I
Yeah,
go to
especially
Target.
with like a 30-inch snowstorm coming.
Yes, which is also it's -9 outside as we record this. It is so
Cool, cool,
cold.
cool. Yeah,
And
it's
so I
great.
was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go do this. So, I went to the store and I got like what is it? Nature
At the
vitamin?
store at Target, I'm
Yeah,
trying
what is
to
it called? Nature
think.
Made.
Yep.
Nature Made. And I didn't read the back. And knowing me, I always read the back. So why didn't I?
But
It
you
was
always read the
okay.
back of like food, and
Always.
like food labels. Like you don't
Always.
think to read the back of supplements because they just seem like they shouldn't include any extras.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And I kind of scanned it, but like this was the best one available in my Target. And there's like gummies, which I know are bad. And if you're taking gummy vitamins, just go eat gummy bears, guys. It's not doing you any good. Just eat the gummy bears and then swallow your vitamins. Um, but I looked at the back and I just pulled up a different one online on Nature Made, and I am calling this company out because this is absolutely insane. I got some B vitamins, but the first one that came up when I typed in Nature Made vitamins was vitamin D3, and it's exactly the same. So, vitamin D3, 50 micrograms. Okay, fine. That's not a ton, but whatever. And then calcium. Why are we putting calcium in vitamin D? We all know that maybe we don't all know, but the thing that helps calcium or helps vitamin D get absorbed is potassium. So that's why it's usually vitamin D3K2. But this has calcium in it. So, okay, whatever. Maybe I need some calcium. That's fine. Other ingredients. Cellulose gel. Okay, it needs to be wrapped in something. Fine. Maltodextrin. That's another word for sugar. Then it says sugar. Then cross carmelose sodium. I don't even know what that is. Acacia gum, stearic acid, cornstarch, magnesium stearate. Why? Like, for what purpose are these things in there?
Right.
And
Compared
this,
to the other ingredient list that from your just
so,
ingredients one.
so I have this other D3 liquid that I have sitting on my desk all the time. How do I take this? It's disgusting. I put it on my hand and I put it in my mouth. I'm not afraid to admit that. I don't care. This, it comes in liquid. It's not vitamin D3K2, but I do take potassium in other forms like electrolytes and things like that, so I don't worry about it. How much is in one drop of this, which is approximately 0.03 milliliters, has 750 servings. Vitamin D as cholecalciferol, the same version as in the other one. 25 micrograms. Great. Okay, fine. Other ingredients, medium chain triglycerides. That's it. It
Mhm.
has to be in something. You can't just have like pure.
Yeah.
So it's basically like in some sort of fatty oil situation to help it get absorbed, which is great.
Yes.
It is so crazy to me that the stuff we are most easily buying at the store and the brands that are often recommended by doctors. I have a friend who went to the GI doctor recently, and they're like, you have to take magnesium citrate to help you go to the bathroom, and it has to be nature made.
Hmm.
And I said, please don't buy that. And she said, this is the best doctor in Los Angeles. Like, I'm going to listen to him. And I said, okay. And then 2 months later, she's like, what brand was I supposed to buy again? So we switched. And now she can go to the
Interesting.
bathroom. It's crazy.
You guys, Maddie, that I was very intimidated by this topic, and I think last week I was like, let's cancel and do a different topic. And this week I like was like, oh, I just like feel so intimidated. Maddie is so knowledgeable about all of these things because you work on this a lot with
I do.
um your dizziness patients and
I
folks.
do.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have to be on a lot of supplements because people with migraine and vestibular disorders just happen to be more deficient in a lot of different vitamins, nutrients, things like that because of their genetic makeup a lot of times, because of their ability to detox things. So we talk a lot about what to look for in a supplement, and what you want to look for in a supplement is the supplement. And
Period.
that's
No
pretty much it.
extra. Yeah.
No, you
So
don't
like
want to look for extra junk.
so when you see those advertisements for what's coming to my head right now is like those
Hmm.
creatine gummies where you like just
Yeah.
eat the gummy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like we want to avoid that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, I have a patient with um a traumatic brain injury who has a hard time swallowing. And so for him, taking creatine in a liquid form is really, really difficult, right? But he has a brain injury, so he needs creatine. That being said, he is probably one of the exceptions of the good candidates for um taking the like gummy version of something.
Okay. Like it's nice that there's options, but it's
Yeah.
definitely dependent on
I
your
just looked
function
up
and health.
exactly. I just looked up a random creatine gummy brand. I'm not going to call them out on the internet, but this goes for pretty much all gummies, like the Smarty Pants ones, the Ollie ones, the whatever. The first ingredients, if you read the back of the one that I'm looking at, is tapioca syrup, sugar, water, pectin, allulose, natural watermelon flavor, natural red color, and citric acid. And obviously there's creatine in here too, but every serving of this has 3 grams of added sugar.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, if we're not supposed to get more than 25 grams of added sugar a day, eating one serving of these, like that's a tenth of your sugar intake.
Especially when you could, if there's alternate options that you can just like
Mhm.
swallow a pill or something like that, that just cuts all that stuff out. So,
I do get a lot of people telling me that they cannot swallow pills. And I have 2 things to say about this. Number one is you definitely can. 100%, no doubt in my mind, you can. But if you have some sort of mental block about it, I actually have had people do this and tell me that it's helped. It's really gross, but it's helpful. Put one on your plate next to some food, then take a normal bite of a sandwich, of a salad, like whatever it is, spit it out. Don't swallow, spit it out after you chew it. Put it next to the pill and just look how giant that bolus of food that you're about to swallow is. You're not going to choke on this pill. That being said, if you feel like you like put a pill in your mouth or put a supplement in your mouth and then you tilt your head backwards and you're like, I can't swallow it. I just try this for me, Rachel. Look up like you're taking it and try to swallow. It's impossible.
it's very hard.
So we're all doing this backwards. For some reason, everyone like throws their head back
That's so
to
true.
try and take supplements. Don't. Supplements float. So tilt your
Oh,
head forward gently, just a little
mm,
bit forward, and drink from a straw. They'll go right down.
yeah. Otherwise, you're
Or
just like throwing them back to like your
literally,
gag reflex.
yes, I know. Trust me, people all day are like, I can't take any more supplements. I'm not kidding you. I counted one time the maximum number of supplements. It was not comfortable, but I did it. I took 25 at once.
You mean like not all
Like,
together?
yeah, in one swallow. Just because I was like, okay, how many really until it's like this is uncomfortable? It's like a lot of magnesium, like of some prenatals. Like I used to take a prenatal that was like 8 pills. So that was 8. And then like 4 magnesiums. And then that's 12. And then I was
I
like
like
taking like
need to look
vitamin
up the
C. And
Guinness
you're
World
not supposed to
Record.
take all of these together. Like I know that. I know you're not supposed to take them all together. But sometimes I do. Sometimes that's just the way it works out that day. And so I took 25.
Point is, if Maddie can
Point
take
is, you
25,
can do it. You
You can
can
take
do it.
one.
You can take one, I promise.
Okay, okay.
Um,
I love it. So
and tilt your head forward.
tilt your head forward, use a
Tilt your head
straw.
forward.
You
Use the
can
straw.
do it. You
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
Okay, here's my question, Maddie. Where should somebody start? Like, we're going to talk about some of the big supplements that everyone's pretty much heard
Hmm.
of today, but where should somebody start before like even thinking about which ones to take?
So I personally don't love that everyone's just out here taking a random multivitamin. It's probably nature made or like Women's One or whatever. I don't even know what's in that, but I'm gonna look right now. Um, and that, I mean, maybe that's what your doctor has recommended for you. Obviously, I'm not telling you to go against your doctor. But what I am saying is that a lot of times, like these one a day things have like very small amounts of the actual supplement in them and not enough to really make a huge difference. Plus, who knows if you actually need that thing.
Right.
So,
So kind of like just
get
like
blood
throwing
work.
spaghetti at the
Yeah.
wall instead of individually addressing like maybe
Mm-hmm.
what could be actually helpful.
100%.
Okay.
100%. So, I think that like the best way to go about this would be to get some blood work done with your doctor. What I don't recommend doing is just getting like a CBC and a CMP, so complete metabolic panel, complete blood count. That will get you some stuff, but you're probably going to have to ask for specific blood measures. In the vestibular community, we have like a free optimal blood work thing. I think probably anyone could download it and benefit from that. But generally, getting some blood work done, like ask for your magnesium serum levels, not blood magnesium, serum magnesium, vitamin D, your B vitamins, um, and that's probably like for the average person. Oh, and a ferritin and an iron level. For the average person, that's probably plenty. That being said, after you do that, then look at the sheet and say, is this normal or is it optimal really is really what you want to look for because normal is not optimal when it comes to blood work, unfortunately. Normal is the norm for the average American. And as the average American gets less and less and less healthy, so do our blood markers. They change because they have to shift to be the bell curve, which is the mean and two standard deviations of that mean in either direction. So it looks different now than it did in the 40s and the 60s and the 80s. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
That
So
is wild.
it is wild. It's like sperm counts. Have you heard this?
No.
Sperm counts now, I think in the 60s would have been considered infertile.
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
what?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then how do people get typical values or like where are the
Usually
resources for
from,
this?
I have like a naturopath that I really like, or a naturopathic doctor. She has her ND. NDs are super cool. They get trained in medicine and also natural medicine. They're super cool. And so I follow one who has stuff about this.
Okay. Okay. And also, I know that we talked a little bit about function health because they
Yes. So that's a
do,
great way to go about it.
and they'll give the typical values, not the normal values,
They do both.
or they'll give optimal plus normal.
Plus norms,
Okay.
which I really, really like about them.
I mean,
I
in
had
my
my husband do that.
head, that's kind of like saying, that's like saying the average person walks 5,000 steps a day, but
Hmm.
optimal is actually 10,000,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. So if optimal is 10,000 and most people do 5,000 plus or minus 2,500 steps, then that means normal is 5,000. But
Hmm.
we all should be walking more.
We should all
All
be
of
walking
us,
10,000 steps. Everybody, I mean, for the most
for
part,
sure.
should be
And
walking.
was that like technically a marketing scam from a uh step counting company in the 90s or the 80s? For sure. But is it bad for you? No.
Yeah.
You probably should be doing it.
Yeah.
Um, so I think exactly. You're exactly right. It is exactly like that. So optimal, for example, no, let's take ferritin. If you have a vestibular disorder, you have heard about ferritin these days because it is all over your algorithm, I guarantee. If you go to Quest or to LabCorp, it might tell you that ferritin anywhere from 3 to 300 is normal. However, optimal for ferritin would be at least 70, but hopefully 100. Anything under 30 is considered problematic and you likely need infusions of iron. Um, but then if you're taking, let's say you have low ferritin and you take iron supplements, you might start to feel worse if you don't have enough vitamin C and vitamin A in your body to help you process that iron and actually store it. So it's not actually just about the one thing, it's about all of the things, which can be really annoying, but it is about that. They're called cofactors. So it's not just like, do I have enough iron, yes or no? It's, do I have the genetics to process iron when I take it? Do I eat meat, or am I only getting non-heme iron, which can make it more difficult? Um, there's a lot of things to consider other than, am I just needing to take iron, and what does that look like on my blood work?
Mhm.
So starting with optimal blood work is an excellent place to start. Something like Function Health is awesome, but knowing that the ranges at Quest can be different than the ranges at your hospital and different than the ranges at LabCorp. This is also true for, this is not about supplements, but about thyroid labs, for example, like LabCorp, Quest, your hospital, your doctor's office all have different norms, but that doesn't mean they're actually what the norm should be. So it is definitely an interesting thing to think about blood work in that way.
Mhm. That is super cool. I've been wanting to do function health. I
Do
feel
it.
like for 6+ months, maybe over a year, and I just haven't yet.
Hmm.
If somebody say like they're not ready to like go get a blood test or they don't have access to optimal values or something like that, do you have any recommendations of where someone should start with like their supplement package or routine?
Yeah, so I think, I mean, there's three or maybe four big ones that I think most people should be taking, that most, especially Americans, are deficient in. Those are vitamin D, because we're just not spending enough time outside. And even if you are, you're probably not wearing sunscreen, or you're like me, I'm not wearing sunscreen today, but the UV isn't going to get above 1. And like, I'm not going to get any vitamin D from that.
Hmm. And
Um,
it's also -9, so we're
I'm
not
not
gonna
going outside.
be outside.
Correct. Magnesium is another one. It has over, like, it has like infinite things that it does in your body. Magnesium does everything from muscle function and heart health to bone metabolism. It has a receptor almost everywhere in your body, and almost everyone is deficient.
A lot of people are taking magnesium for sleep too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Like I
Totally.
feel like
Yep.
that one has blown up lately. Like
100%.
very popular. Everybody's asking about it. I think I've seen like memes about people like people like drinking coffee at like 4 p.m. and then taking magnesium at like 6 p.m. to like try and sleep, which obviously like that is an issue, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have to be well balanced. But yeah, okay, that one
That's
definitely
so
seems like it's
funny.
blowing up lately. Yeah.
Yes. Magnesium is great. The other ones that I love are omega-3 fatty acids. You definitely need a really good source of omega-3s. They also oxidize, so you do need to keep them in your fridge. You cannot keep them on the counter or even at room temperature. You have to keep them cold so they don't go bad. I messaged Joe about that the other day on
I know
his
he told
Instagram
me. He told me.
because my geneticist told me, and I was like, "What?"
This is very good to know.
Hmm.
I feel
And
like
then,
we talked about omega-3s and omega-6s, right? In
yes, we did. And our seed
which one
oils.
was that? Yes, seed oils.
Hmm.
So,
Omega
yes.
3s are really, really important, and taking up to 2,000 milligrams a day, they say, can actually help uh, reduce Alzheimer's and dementia risk, which is super
Hmm.
cool. So
Yeah.
we love that.
Yes.
And then creatine. Creatine is one that everyone associates with bodybuilders, because I am actually convinced that bodybuilders know a lot more than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
Like, bodybuilders know a lot of stuff about how to be healthy. A lot of stuff they do is not healthy, like cutting weight really fast and things like that. But creatine
Getting
is
up in the middle of
excellent.
the night to eat.
Yeah, no, don't do that, team. But creatine is well known for enhancing muscle mass, and helping with strength and recovery, post-exercise recovery and injury prevention. But It also is really helpful with cognitive processing, especially if you have migraine or vestibular migraine and you have brain fog. It is like a game changer for people. I was just reading some people commenting in my group program about how much creatine has helped them. But then the response always is like, isn't this for men? Isn't this for bodybuilders? Isn't this only for people who lift weights? And the first thing I want to say is like, everyone should be lifting weights, but that's neither here nor there. Creatine is for everyone, friends. It also
Yes.
has evidence for depression management. There is so much good evidence for creatine. It is such a cool supplement.
I think it's like one of the most studied supplements. And also, like compared to multivitamins, I pull up like the consensus meter for all of the different research articles, and it's so mixed. It's like 44%
Yeah,
no, 22% yes. And creatine is like, yes, everybody should be taking this. It's amazing for your health. Like, there's really no bad things to
100%.
taking it.
I totally agree.
Hmm.
I totally agree. So those are kind of the big ones: vitamin D, magnesium, omegas, and creatine. And if
Okay.
you're like, I don't want to do that, then that is okay. That is totally fine. It is just going to be about figuring out what works for you.
Totally. And
Hmm.
I think I think like to our point earlier too, to some extent, all of this stuff is just a piece of the puzzle to being healthy for you. So just because you're not sleeping well doesn't mean you can take magnesium and like sleep amazing. Like usually there's a bunch of other stuff going on that you should probably try to
Totally.
fix the root cause of the issue. Like maybe like I don't know, like if I have a glass of wine before bed, I don't sleep very well. Like
Absolutely
one
not.
glass is all it takes, friends. And I my sleep score is down. It's so sad, but things like that or like if I don't exercise that day or I don't know. I mean, there's a million different reasons, stress, anxiety, depression, why people don't sleep, but I think just
Hormones. Yeah.
throwing, yes, like just throwing a supplement at it isn't
Hmm.
gonna fix the problem, but it might help contribute to bettering the problem. That
Yes,
was
I
part of it
totally
too.
agree.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I know we all love a quick fix, but it's,
Yeah, but
and that's why
they
people love
almost never
supplements.
exist.
They just don't. Yeah, they really don't. But
Hmm.
I think they're important to consider.
They really are. They definitely are important to
Okay.
consider.
Amazing. Any other big ones? I know some of the other ones on the list that people a lot of times can take are like vitamin B12,
Hmm.
probiotics,
Hmm.
obviously folic acid.
I have
Um,
something to say about probiotics before we go to folic acid.
Yes, Maddie has her hand raised. So, Madison.
Thanks. Probiotics. Most of them are not making it past your stomach. And the purpose of a probiotic is to get through your stomach into your small intestine to help you actually digest things, not to just break down on your stomach like everything else. So you need to get a one that's actually been like third party tested that it makes it past your stomach. I know people really like there's a couple. My favorite is Mega Spore Biotic. It is honestly, I've never taken a probiotic that I liked, and now I'm like, I need to take this forever. But people also like to kind of switch off their probiotics. So there's another one by Healthy Gut that I might try next. Um, Mega Spore Biotic I get from Full Script, and I only have to take it like every other day, I think. And it has a pink label, but I do really like it. And yeah, you want to make sure
Every,
it actually gets through.
just quick little side note, everything that
Hmm.
we talk about and that Maddie recommends today, I will throw in our master spreadsheet too.
You're amazing. I
Yay!
love you.
It's
Thanks.
it's beautiful, you
It
guys.
is beautiful. Rachel did such a good job.
Thank
I
you.
just put like some random information in there, and Rachel's like, watch
No,
this.
no, no. We work as a
Yes.
team. Maddie
We
and I
do,
work
but
as a team.
you like
I make things
make
that
things
should
pretty.
take like 2 minutes 40 minutes. And I love like details. And Maddie's like, get this shit on this screen. Like, let's go. And then I'll like go in there
That's
and
why we
take
make a
a
good
hundred
team.
years. Yeah, we do. We're like perfect partners. So
We are. We are.
perfect.
Okay. That's all I have to say about probiotics. Make sure they go. There's a couple good brands out there. The majority of brands totally suck. The
Okay.
majority, for sure.
Can
Totally
you
suck.
let's talk about brands for did I say collagen too? Collagen's a big one. That
Collagen. I interrupted you when you were at folic acid.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
collagen
why. And collagen.
is the common one. Um, which we all know, I mean, a lot of people know is
Hmm.
great for maintaining structure, health of skin,
Hmm.
bones, connective tissues. I think this is a really popular female one, right? For
Hmm.
like looking younger and like
Hmm.
our hair and
Totally.
stuff like that. So, um,
Yeah. I think it gives you less breakouts than biotin does too.
okay. Okay. So, do you have favorite brands for all of these or just in general
Yeah.
what to look for when buying and choosing a
Yeah.
supplement? Yeah,
So I just Googled like best prenatal vitamin. And guess what won?
just
Nature Made.
nature made.
That makes me want to like, I don't even know, but that I hate it. I'm mad about it. Um, the actual brands that I like across the board are Pure Encapsulations, Thorn with an E on the end, Thorn. Um, and there's one more, Integrative Therapeutics.
And these will cover like most of the things that we talked about today.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, all of them have every single one we talked, except for the probiotic.
Okay.
That's like a specific
No
one.
worries. I'll
That
add that.
being said, you need, unless you have a provider that gives you full script, which we do in vestibular group fit, but if you're listening to this podcast and you're not in group, you cannot get access to that through me. Um, that being said, please do not, under any circumstances, purchase your supplements from Amazon.
So you can't buy any of these brands on Amazon.
You can,
Okay.
but you don't actually know what you're going to get.
It might not be the
It might not
actual.
be real.
Hmm.
So technically, like 90% of the time, you're probably going to be fine. But I don't trust it. And I was listening to the Just Ingredients podcast with Carolyn Call.
Hmm.
Um, and she said, or maybe it was a different podcast with her on it. I don't know. I was listening to her talk about Just Ingredients, and she has a turmeric supplement that she sells. They actually have great supplements there at Just Ingredients. Excellent.
Okay. I have that written down
That's
as well.
another great option.
Okay.
And then Live Momentous.
Okay.
Also them. Love them. Okay. But she was talking about how one time she ordered a bunch of turmeric to put in turmeric supplements, which is just turmeric. And they got it tested because they always do third party testing on all their ingredients and all yada, 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 all the things. It was rice powder sprayed yellow. Mm-hmm. That they sold her. And so that's why I'm like, unless it's coming from these very trusted brands
Hmm.
from their actual website, and technically you can go to like their page on Amazon, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like their Amazon storefront.
Okay.
But I still kind of sketches me out.
Yeah. So you just buy it directly from
I just
the.
buy it directly from the place. And
Okay.
it might be a little bit more expensive, but honestly, I think it is worth it.
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, if you have
Yeah.
to order it anyways and you can't buy it in the store, you might as well
Mm-hmm.
just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we can't buy these at Target, which is infuriating.
I know. Why is that? Like,
I
why
have
can't
no
we buy
idea.
any besides like 100% organic sheets that they actually sell at Target, which
Yes.
is amazing. But like besides that, I
Mm-mm.
feel it's so hard. You
It's
can't
so
just go to
hard.
the store and buy like cleaning supplies there or whatever you,
Uh-huh.
and it's
Yeah,
frustrating.
I agree.
Hmm.
In terms of prenatals, I have two favorites.
Okay.
They are We Natal and Needed.
Wee natal
Um,
sounds just really cute.
I know, right? It's
Like a
cute.
wee little, a wee
We
little guy.
Natal, little one. But I do really like both of those. Um, and I know a lot of people really like both of them too. I've taken
Okay.
both in my life because you
Okay.
should be taking prenatals for a while before you try and get pregnant. At least a month to 3 months, but anytime you want to start is great.
Beautiful.
I also like that We Natal come like they just send you one glass jar and then the refill packs like they send in like a non
Mm. Like a refill, like
like
then
a
you just
refill
open
like
it
they
and
just yeah you just
put it in
pour
the
it in there.
jar.
That's what
Okay.
I'm trying to say.
I got you.
And then they also have like men's like sperm support and stuff if you're trying to get pregnant, which I think is cool.
Cool.
They're definitely not cheap, but $2 a day for really solid supplements for this time in your life, I do think is a worthwhile investment if you can. And I'm gonna look at the back of the ingredients on
We,
no prenatal or wheat
we,
wee no nature made.
oh, we.
Let's see. Okay, it's not as bad as you would think. The other ingredients in here are gelatin, which I don't love, like why, glycerin, why, lectin, why, and less than 2% of soybean oil, dibasic calcium, yellow beeswax, tocopherols, resin, and a sorbol palmitate. Like literally why? I don't understand. But yeah, it's definitely not terrible,
Definitely
but
like
I
benefits outweigh, like definitely
yeah,
take.
folate, which I think is better. It needs to be methylated.
Is that what the difference is between folic acid and
Mm-hmm.
folate?
Yes.
Okay. And why is
Almost.
that?
So you need to have make sure that you're having methylated folate, uh, folic acid because most people have a broken MTHFR pathway, and it's not just MTHFR in your genetic code that could be mutated. It could be MTRR, MTHFR. There's like a whole bunch of stuff that helps methylate B vitamins. And folate is a B vitamin. I believe it's B9. Um, and okay, not folic acid. You want methylfolate, which doesn't need conversion in the body. It's already the bioavailable form.
Okay.
So make sure that you are looking for methylfolate, which
Okay.
helps prevent neural tube defects.
Gotcha. And I think we talked a little bit more about that specifically and genetic patterns in our
Mm-hmm.
genetics podcast with Natalie. So if you're
Yeah.
interested in like genetic expression, I know we talk about Alzheimer's a little bit in that one, sauna,
Mm-hmm.
check that podcast out too.
Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
And if you look at the back of the Natal one, it says folate as Ca5-MTHF Magnafolate Pro. So when it has like the 5-MTHF in front of stuff, like I have that for B6 and other things, you can kind of know, okay, that's the methylated form of folate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
I hope
Um,
that makes sense. I'm gonna check
Definitely.
needed, but I'm pretty sure it's the same.
So basically, when buying, probably
Mm-hmm.
avoid Amazon unless you
Yep.
go to their storefront at your
But
own
even
risk.
still, yeah, do it at your
Yeah.
own risk.
And then another thing I know you mentioned was NSF certification is
Mm-hmm.
something you want to look for in the brands that you're buying. Yes.
Yes. Yes. You definitely want to make sure that it's been certified by somewhere, something, somehow. There's a couple certifications. I like to look for the NSF certification, which basically says it's like free of heavy metals and other things like that, and it's been
Mhm.
third party tested. Um, so I like that as well.
Perfect. Uh,
And again, I want to repeat, not folic acid. You're looking for methylfolate. I know I said that wrong like 4 times, but I want to be very clear.
Methylfolate, people.
Methylfolate. That's what you're looking for on the back.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Last thing that I think I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about for sure is protein, which kind of falls into the
Yeah.
supplements, right? I know we've mentioned on multiple podcasts how important it is to be getting protein in, and Maddie has talked about like
Mm-hmm.
what do you recommend to your vestibular group fit and dizziness
I
people for
usually
protein?
just go to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And most people don't hit that, and they probably get in within like the zero point 0.7 to 1 range. And I think
Hmm.
that's great.
Yeah.
So if you need a range, zero point 0.7 to 1-ish per
Hmm.
gram per pound. And if you weigh yourself in kilograms, I can't help you there. But um
Divide by 2.2.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Look at you go.
that's all I got.
Um but yeah, I think a decent amount of protein is really important, but don't leave out like your fiber and antioxidants and other foods. I think when I say like make sure you're eating enough protein, I mean eat enough protein, but I'm not saying to not eat fiber.
Hmm.
You know, like people are like, well, I'm just gonna eat just all steak. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
No,
maybe
we need
not.
all things. Yeah.
We need all the things. We need fiber and carbs. And like people are like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, are you eating carbs? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, we gotta be eating carbs, team.
Yeah, definitely. But also like the good carbs, right? Like a
Yeah,
piece
yeah,
of
yeah.
sourdough,
Yeah, we're not eating just like, I don't know,
chips,
crappy chips. Yeah,
highly
or like
processed
highly
carbs, because that
processed
is going to make, yeah, you
flour
feel,
tortillas from Mission or
yeah,
something, you know, like not
yeah.
those. That's not what I'm talking about. Like good
Hmm.
whole grain situations.
I do think too, if you're not tracking your protein or you never have tracked your protein,
Mm-hmm.
I would try it because chances are you're probably consuming, most people are consuming way less than that recommended amount
Mm-hmm.
that you should
Yeah.
be. And I think it might surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you're eating enough protein, it really does help curb your cravings.
Yeah,
And like a lot of
totally.
times when I'm craving something and then I eat like a ground beef like bowl with rice and stuff, like it is
Yeah.
tastes amazing. Like it tastes so
It's
good.
so good.
It's so good. And then it
The
like
right spices. Oh,
yes, it really curbs your cravings and
it
you feel
does.
so much better afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something where like a protein powder can come in as handy and obviously shouldn't be the bulk of your protein that you consume each day, but is a good
Mm-hmm.
addition if you're needing
Mm-hmm.
to add to your day of daily protein intake.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Matt, I know you said your favorite one is
Mm-hmm.
digest ingredients. Yes,
That is my personal favorite protein, yes.
cool.
I think there are a lot of good brands out there, and I think it just depends on your dietary preferences. Like, there's good vegetarian ones, there's good vegan ones, there's good non-vegan ones. They do say about protein, and maybe we should do a podcast on this, that if you are only eating protein from plant-based sources, you actually need to eat more protein because it's harder for your body to digest.
Mm,
I've seen a couple studies on that, which I thought were really interesting because
hmm.
one of our friends, I think, mentioned to me once that, um, well, actually, I have a lot of vegetarian friends from California. And so I looked into this because they're like, it's the same. And I'm like, it cannot be the same. It's not the same.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like heme iron and non-heme iron. It's the same
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
So I, yeah, those are my thoughts. Eat enough protein,
Cool.
team.
Yeah. And
You
we'll
get
do,
it
I
from a good
think
source.
one day we can do a pod
Hmm.
focused on protein maybe and just
Totally.
like give ideas for how to get
Hmm.
that amount in throughout the day
Hmm.
and that type of thing too.
Yeah.
But I think that that wraps up supplements for today.
I think so. I think if I was going to tell everyone to do one thing, it would just be to read the back. Read the back of your supplements because there are so many additives that are just hidden in there, like maltodextrin in my B vitamins, which I am so mad about,
Hmm.
for example.
Yes,
But,
I think my favorite thing that I'm going to do is get my blood work done and just like
ooh, yeah.
honestly, just make sure like what I'm doing is addressing the issues that need to be addressed and it's not just like randomly doing all these things.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%. I think that's a
that
great place to start.
is my favorite for
Yay.
today. Yay!
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Let us know if you have any questions. Send us a DM or an email or comment on the below this podcast.
Yes, like, subscribe, let us know what you want to know.
Yeah.
Watch us on YouTube. I think we're
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
funny if you watch us. Maddie will raise her hand.
I will. It's proper hand raising skills.
Amazing. All right,
All right.
everybody, have a
See you next
great rest
week.
of your day.
Bye.
Bye.